talking about are the tattoos worn by groups of deputies as symbols of their allegiance to deputy-affiliated gangs within the department.
They call them subgroups, secret societies.
The deputy, who has asked to remain anonymous for fear of reprisals by other department members, is speaking exclusively with KTLA News out of concern for what he sees as dangerous elements within the Sheriff's Department. He says for these secret deputy gangs with names like the 3,000 Boys, the Vikings, the Regulators, the Grim Reapers, and others, allegiance to their brothers sometimes comes before protecting the public and even before the law.
It's been vital. There's certain rites of passage that you have to do to get the tattoo.
What are the rites of passage to get a tattoo?
Deputy ball shooting, beating, gun arrest. They want the ink so bad that they'll do whatever they have to do.
The deputy says he has declined getting a tattoo and joining a deputy gang. He says he has seen ink deputies bend or break the rules, yet be rewarded by their fellow deputy gang members.
Once you get the ink, there comes privileges. There comes scheduling, car assignments, vacations, specialized units. You have everything.
The secret, tough guy life of ink deputy gang members like the 3,000 Boys bubbled to the surface last Christmas at a brawl in Montebello involving the 3,000 Boys that prompted this 911 call.
Three of them held one guy down while another one beat him.
So the sheriff officers that are fighting?
Yes.
That fight now has 6 3,000 Boys facing termination. And the 2 deputies beaten up that night by the 3,000 Boys filed this lawsuit last week. The suit alleges that by allowing the gang-like activity of deputies, the Sheriff's Department is encouraging an atmosphere of lawlessness and violence.
Do you think these groups breed a propensity for violence?
They brag about it. They brag about kills in deputy ball shooting.
Attorney Bradley Gage has handled several cases involving sheriff's deputy gangs. He says high-ranking Assistant Sheriff Paul Tanaka has a tattoo himself, a vestige of his earlier days in the Linwood Vikings deputy gang.
How much more ratification can an organization have than to say the second highest person from an organization of 10,000 sworn officers is part of this?
L.A. County Sheriff Lee Baca agreed to sit down exclusively with KTLA to answer many of these allegations about the L.A. Sheriff's Department's gang-like subgroups.
Is Assistant Sheriff Paul Tanaka tattooed as a Viking?
Yes, he is. And that's his choice when he was then at the Linwood Station. But from my point of view, I don't think that tattoo has ever had anything to do with his performance.
Sheriff Baca maintains that the deputy gang issue has been merely the drunkenness of a few bad apples.
If we didn't have 6 drunk deputies beating up other deputies off duty at a Christmas party, we wouldn't be here talking with it.
But the deputy we spoke to insists the problem is much bigger and runs much deeper.
Why did you feel compelled to talk to us?
This gang behavior and this gang mentality that we have within the Sheriff's Department has to change. I think at some point you have to ask that question. Are you going to be a professional police officer or are you going to be a gang member?
And Sheriff Baca did answer dozens of questions about the allegations of gang-like behavior among his department's rank and file. We asked him, do these secret subgroups in fact wield tremendous power over other non-inked deputies? Do you think inked deputies bully non-inked deputies?
What cop have you ever met that's ever been bullied that doesn't know how to take care of themselves?
So you think these deputies need to toughen up and defend themselves?
Yeah, I do. I think they need to man up and say, listen, I'm not a wimp.
We've been told that the status of some of these deputies will rise in these groups with certain acts like deputy-involved shootings, deadly use of force. And you might be surprised by Sheriff Baca's answer to that and many more questions in part 4 of our exclusive investigation, The Gang Behind the Badge. That airs tomorrow night on the KTLA 5 News at 10 o'clock.
All right, Carolyn, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.